Hey everybody, it's Mr. P and we have a special guest today. We have Dr. Lombardo. Dr. Lombardo, how are you? Thanks so much for doing this. I can't believe it.
Absolutely.
Oh man, this is fantastic. I feel like I scored like a coup. This is like when, like Barbara Walters would get, like Brad Pitt or somebody. Barbara Walters, everyone, was like a, 20 years ago was a big time interviewer on TV. None of the kids get that joke. You get the joke.
This would be like Mr. Casey getting the pay late interview.
Yes,
No,
exactly. Well,
not quite.
Yeah, I mean, at a smaller scale. I was really hoping Mr. Casey wouldn't come up at all in this interview, but that's fine. It came up early. We'll get him out of the way. Goodbye to Mr. Casey.
Go on.
Listen, I start off every interview. You said you've watched these.
I have.
I ask everyone what they had for dinner last night. So I'm asking you, what did you have?
I actually made crab cakes last night. I am, as my close friends know, not much of a chef at all, but I have to admit, during the time that I've been home, I've come to appreciate a good cooked meal versus eating out of a microwave bag.
Yep.
So last night, made some crab cakes, made some couscous with asparagus, and just a little side salad. So trying to eat a little more healthy. Trying to eat a little more healthy while I'm home.
Yeah, that's nice. That sounds delicious. You want to know what I had?
I'm not sure. I know your household. What kind of hot dogs?
Crunch. Yeah, I know, right? Were they all beef?
What did you have, Mr. P?
Thank you for asking. Last night we kept it simple. We had grilled cheese with tomato and bacon and tomato soup.
Nice.
It was very good.
I'm a grilled cheese. I love a good grilled cheese. That's for sure.
Since we've been home, I feel like we're eating, like you said, we're eating more comfort food. We have more time to cook and do those sorts of things. So it's been real nice.
Absolutely.
So let's move on to school. How is normally I would ask people like how home is, and we're going to get to that. But I want to ask you first, how is it going under the umbrella of being principal of Pitman High School?
Well, it's a unique experience, as everybody I think can say at this point. Unique in the sense of I feel less attached, as I'm sure everyone does, but yet probably busier than I've ever been in all my educational years. And I relate that to the fact of it's new. And whenever something's new, it always takes you more time. But I think at the same time, everyone from the students to the teachers to myself, parents included, we're all experiencing something that has made us all well aware of how great it is to have teachers in front of you, instructing you, working with you. And I feel the same way as a principal. I appreciate so much more having the building as our domain, to be able to see faces and smiles and going into classrooms and seeing teachers. So for me, I think to say school is been a realization of the building itself versus the actual education, that I truly miss seeing bodies and smiles and faces every single day.
Yeah.
I am answering more emails than I've ever answered in my entire life. And I find myself relaying information in a way that I've never had to before, because I'm more of a people person. I like the contact. I like a hug, but I think that with everybody, relaying information in the way that we are just takes a little bit more savviness and a little bit more detail than when any of us are used to.
I've used the example that when we first left school, I feel like for me, it took a week or two just to get acclimated to this new reality. And I didn't know, it was like, at first, let's be honest, for me, it felt like a little bit of a break. It's like you have the days, you don't have to be up at a certain hour. And it's funny, as time's gone on, I'm finding ways of reaching out to people, and people are doing it. Yeah. Colleagues are doing it with me. Right. We're checking in on each other and we're talking. But I think that's what I miss the most, is just kind of the connection in school. People don't realize. I was just going to say, maybe people realize that how tight we all are and how close and how many friends we have within the building. And I really miss that.
I truly miss Mr. P's hallway right in front of the media center.
Really?
That seems to be absolutely. That always seems to be the hub where students know the connection is made. And every time I'm there with you or with Mr. Almuccio standing there, if Mrs. Deacon's there, Mr. Casey, whoever, there's a connection there with the student that you just don't see sometimes in other classrooms as you're going by. Maybe because it's an intersection and kids are there maybe deciding where they need to go, but it seems to be, that's the place I miss. I don't miss my office. I don't miss those kind of areas where you're secluded. I miss the general areas where you can just be a part of the wonderfulness that is Pitman High School.
I realize that, you know, I think I'm pretty good about being out in the hallway. We have another special guest.
Hi,
doing
Dean or Finn?
That's Finn. That's Finn.
Hi, Finn.
You want to come say hi real quick?
Come here.
He said, no, thanks. He doesn't have time for this.
I have that impact on all ages, apparently.
But I was going to say, you know, I feel like the time in between class when the students are going from point A to point B within the building is something that I think we all sort of miss. It's this 3 or 4 minutes where we can talk to students about things outside of the curriculum and outside of what's happening in their class. We could just talk to them as people. And yeah, that's sort of something that I think I personally took for granted, and I'm sort of trying to reconnect with. Could you talk about, you said about how busy you are in the emails, and I totally get that. How do you compartmentalize your professional life with your personal life? I mean, do you put it down?
You know what? My husband is also working from home, and it's only the two of us. So we have separate areas of the house where he's on conference calls, I'm on conference calls. We kind of pass each other in the morning where we might grab, you know, an orange or an apple together, and then we go our separate ways, and then come back around lunchtime. We may pass each other there. But the professional life still, I think, and we've always been this way, is something that we know is a priority in our lives. We know that personally, we're always going to be there for each other if we need to, but professionally, we know that's the thing right now that needs our attention, because there's so many unknowns, and not only unknowns in the education field, but unknowns in the world in general, that we have to be support systems for our places of work. And that's not a bad thing. Yeah. We understand each other's jobs and we understand each other's commitments. And then when we come around, when we can get to the end of the day, whether it's at 5 o'clock or whether it's at 8 o'clock, which is varying from day to day, we know that when we get time together, we need to really treasure that time and value what we can do together.
So what are you doing? What types of things are you doing together?
Funny you should ask, because we actually bought a Peloton treadmill.
Okay.
And we rotate on the Peloton treadmill. One either goes in the morning and one at night, or vice versa. We take our dog for walks. Love our dog. He's 11 years old. Ollie is like the love of my life. I don't ever tell him that, but we take Ollie for walks no matter what time it is. We spend a lot of time outside, and I don't know if you can see it over my shoulder or not. I live in Salem County, and we have a lot more acreage than a lot of Gloucester County and things like that. So we're able to get outside. I can hit the golf ball around a little bit.
It looks beautiful.
It's gorgeous today.
How many acres is your property?
3 acres. We have 3 acres. We literally sit right in the center of the 3 acres, and I have 1 tree. So I have a tractor. Yes, I have a Kubota tractor, for those of you that are really concerned about my personal life. And it takes me about 3 hours, and I'm the one that does the mowing of the lawn around here, and my husband takes a weed whacker out and does that. But yeah, that's typically our weekends. We tend to do that. We play a little bit of golf in the backyard. We'll sit out. We have a fire pit, and
that's nice.
We enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah, that's great. Can you talk about some of the pop culture that you're maybe getting to consume since we've been home? Are you reading any book you'd like to share? Watching a show? What?
There's actually, I'm reading a book. It's called Sorry Not Sorry. I'm one of those people that just kind of likes a little fun by the end of the night in regards to laughing a little bit when I'm reading a book. There's no one TV show that I'm really stuck on. I do like a good half-hour sitcom because I don't have to really concentrate too long. I know a lot of people like series. I'm not necessarily into that. We listen to a lot of music. We have music on all day long in the house. We like WXPN.
I love WXPN.
It's amazing. It is amazing. And there's so many different things.
88.5, kids. Turn the dial.
You got to listen. Absolutely. But honestly, the job really does take up a lot of the time that I would be spending in front of the TV or on Netflix. Or we don't have Netflix. We don't have Hulu. We have good old Comcast. So
listen, if I had that property, I wouldn't be inside either. I'd be,
exactly.
Good for you. I think that's fantastic.
So my pop culture is music.
Yeah. I know you're in a tough spot. I don't want to give you an awkward question, but
No,
are
go ahead.
you able to say anything with regard to what your instincts are regarding going back to school? Do you think that what's the latest?
Well, I think if I were to give just an undirected kind of answer, because the governor has given us 30-day windows each time on letting us know what can continue and what can't. But going by what he's done in the past and what changes have occurred, my own personal opinion is as of May 15th, we're going to have to see where that curve is.
Mm-hmm.
So to say at this point we're going back, I don't think I can wholeheartedly say that. To say we're going to be out for the rest of the year, I can't wholeheartedly say that. I think it is a day-by-day decision that unfortunately we at Pitman don't have any control over.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I did. There's
Yeah.
so many days where I'm both happy and sad in the same day. And
Yeah.
I think that's probably a common theme for people. Happy because I wake up and I'm in my home and I feel comfort and I'm with my family. And I'm just so happy for students that have the opportunity to create memories with their families they may never have had the
Mm-hmm.
chance to create.
Mm-hmm.
But then I become sad because as I'm doing work during the day and I'm receiving emails from students and parents and everybody of the like, I'm thinking to myself, we may not get to have those experiences in the way that we have thought they should be over the
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
Will we have a graduation? Yes, we will, in some form. Will we have a prom? Yes, we will, in some form. But not only when I say that with the idea of Governor Murphy needs to let us know what that form will be.
Right.
Can we have 100 kids in one place?
Right.
Can we have 500 people in one place? That determines really where we go moving forward. I wish I could say I'm the one that gets to make the decisions. We'd have the prom tomorrow.
Right.
I wish I was the one that got to make the decisions. We'd have the prom June 12th
Mm-hmm.
in that same capacity on Davis Field, amazing as it is. But unfortunately, if I were a betting woman, which I am not, I'm not sure that I could say, yes, we're
Okay.
definitely going
No,
back.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what's going on at the high school right now? The building is open?
No, the building is not open.
Nobody's there.
No, nobody's
Okay.
there. One day a week, we have the cafeteria staff come in and they prepare the lunches for students that need to receive food. And that's really the only time that someone is there. I am
Okay.
going in on occasion. I had to go in yesterday. We're creating some packets for some things that hopefully I won't have to send out because it's more about next year versus this year. But hopefully I'll be able to have those face-to-face meetings that I've always loved having
Mm-hmm.
rather than having to send out packets. But I have to prepare either way. And if that means going in for one day a week, which I think that every principal has tried to do in some form to be ready for next year
Mm-hmm.
and to finish out this year, that's what we have to do.
Okay. What would you say has been the feedback that you've heard through students or parents or teachers with regard to how the virtual learning experience is going?
I think it runs the gamut. And the reason that I think it runs the gamut is because some teachers and students are face-to-face learners, hands-on, that kind of thing. The related arts, I wish, like music and band, they're amazing. They are truly amazing in what those students have been able to do. I've seen them posted online and everything. Art's a little bit more difficult than band and music, in my opinion. And business classes, they can continue to run. But I have to give kudos to the art and music department, or the art, I'm sorry, yes, absolutely, art department, but the choir and the band
Mm-hmm.
departments, because I have seen such amazing things come out of their virtual classrooms that I could see them just setting the world on fire if they
Yeah.
actually had that opportunity to continue to do it. It's hard because you have students that have disabilities who are struggling at times, but we have students that don't have disabilities that are struggling at times.
Mm-hmm.
We need to focus on those kids that really need the attention and need the help, whether that be someone that has a special ed background or whether it's someone that doesn't. But we need to make sure that all of our kids that are struggling, maybe either with technology or just the whole idea of not having that one-to-one interaction, can get what they need by asking for help, by reaching out, and our teachers as well going the other way, making sure that the students have what they need. It's hard. It's very difficult. And as for our teachers, rock on, people. You are phenomenal. I cannot say enough amazing things about our teachers. Parents, if you get a chance to see this, next week is Teacher Appreciation Week. Please send our teachers an email or a video. They have done such incredible things over the last month. I love them. I mean, how can you not?
Yeah.
It's a whole nother world, and they are killing it. They are making it look like they've been doing it forever.
I have my stepson Nate is in 9th grade, so I'm seeing things that he's doing, and then my younger guys are, you know, in the other schools, so I'm seeing things that they're doing at the elementary level, and I just want to like give everybody a hug. You know, maybe that won't ever happen again under the circumstances, but you see how you're right, how quickly everybody's adapted to this new reality, and you just sort of watch some of the things going on in awe of how teachers, and I'm not trying to, you know, obviously I'm one of them in terms of my profession, but my colleagues, I just am so impressed by, you know, some of the things that I see them doing and how they've adapted so quickly. You're right. I've told a couple students that, and teachers, I think, when we left school, we were told, I think you had a faculty meeting where it was, you know, to start, we're going to be gone for 2 weeks.
Right,
So
right.
how quickly the idea of 2 weeks, I mean, we're going to be lucky if we go back at all at this point. And just how quickly things have changed and continue to change. It's interesting.
And how well everyone is adapted to that change.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you've realized, but this has probably been like one of the longest times I've ever gone without talking about myself. So I'd like to bring it back to me.
It, I'm sure your wife hasn't, but.
That's true. She loves when I do these. She gets a break. she gets to go do her thing for 15 minutes.
You go, Mrs. Palometi.
I'll send her your regards.
Thank you.
I have these 2 bowls, all right?
Oh,
the bowl questions. Okay. So in one bowl, I have questions about myself that some of you might know, some of you might not. In this bowl, I have well-known Dewey Decimal numbers, all right? So I'm going to let you pick the question out of a bowl, and if you get it right, then I'm telling students I'm either going to have a pizza party or buy them lunch or waive all of their library fines when we get back.
Oh, wow.
Now, as a courtesy, as a professional courtesy, I wouldn't charge you library fines, but we'll have a pizza party or something. So would you like a question out of the Mr. P Bowl or the Dewey Decimal Bowl?
This is kind of like Ellen's Game of Games, where they give you 3 topics that you can pick, and one is so obscure, there's no way you're picking it. So I'm going to go with Dewey Decimal.
Dewey Decimal.
No,
Dewey Decimal.
I am kidding.
Oh.
Mr. P question.
Mr. P question. All right. We're going to do a Mr. P question. I'm going to mix them up.
Okay.
Do you mind if I pick the question out of the bowl?
Wait, what?
Here,
go ahead.
Here, go ahead. Hold your,
go
ahead. All right, I'll go. Fine. Let's see what we got here. All right. So, this is a good one.
I'm
Here's
scared.
The question. You know, do you like Chick-fil-A?
I will eat Chick-fil-A. I wouldn't say that I am a huge fan of Chick-fil-A.
Okay, well,
you want to go with it? You want to go with another question?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I am not a huge fan of Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Right? Why?
Why are you not a huge fan of Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
Well, first of all, the lines are probably too long.
True.
Why are you not a huge fan of Chick-fil-A, Mr. P?
Well, I'm asking you. Are you going to go with?
You're asking me. I thought it was a question.
No, you have to tell me. You have to guess. Why do I not like Chick-fil-A?
I think you don't like Chick-fil-A because it's only chicken. I think you like variety of food.
That's a good answer. Unfortunately, you're wrong. I mean,
most of my life.
Chick-fil-A, they're anti-literacy. All right, they're anti-literacy. Would you like to know why? No,
why? Oh, because they spelled chick wrong.
Well, that's actually a good point. I'm going to add that in. But I mean, I'm not a fan because when you go to the restaurant, they give children a book as part of their value meal, like a kid's meal. But they also allow the children to exchange the book for an ice cream cone. So if put yourself in my shoes. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. If I say to the kid, you can get the book or the ice cream cone, what do you think they're going to pick? I don't like that. I have a problem
I know what my husband would pick, and it wouldn't be the book.
Exactly. I got some 50-cent book that nobody reads. The kids are lining up to turn it in for a soft serve vanilla. You know what I mean?
I got you. You know what you need to do? Tell them to get the book, and you'll take them to get a bigger ice cream cone later.
Well, let's not get crazy now. I mean, we're at Chick-fil-A. You know, I don't have to go back. You know what I mean? We're the one go round. This is Chick-fil-A's problem. It's not my problem.
That's true. Good point.
All right. So
I feel we have digressed.
That's the name of the game. That's the story of my life.
Gotcha.
So let's go back to Pitman High School just for a second. We'll wrap it
Okay.
up. So what would you say you what do you miss most about it? I think you touched on it earlier, but what do you miss? Let's say we go back tomorrow. Let's say it opens up tomorrow. What do you appreciate that you maybe didn't before?
Being able to walk down the hallway. I can't do this in the grocery store. I can't do this any place I go, and know every single person. Know something. And we did this at a faculty meeting. You know, we've talked about this. Getting to know our kids at Pitman High School is the most important thing to me. And I know that some people may hesitate and be like, oh, you're the principal. What can you really know? I truly, truly try to make it a point to get to know the kids. It's, you know, it's 330 some kids. If I don't make it an effort to try to get to know each and every one of them, I've done Pitman High School disservice. So I think definitely the seniors and the juniors, majority of the sophomores, and even the freshmen can honestly say that I know who they are. I've had conversations with them. I delve a little deeper. I mean, I'm fortunate that I work at Pitman High School. Not every principal gets the opportunity when they get up to walk past me at graduation, shake my hand, to get that one-on-one minute with them and know what quality person is leaving Pitman High School at that moment.
I hope you don't mind me sharing this story, but something you told me years ago was when incoming students enter the building as freshmen, you told me a good idea was to spend some time in Power School, kind of flipping through the students' names just to associate the face with the student. And I always remembered that. And I thought that was such a nice way to put yourself into a situation to force yourself to get to know the new students, you know, and the sooner we get to know them, like the better their experience is overall.
And I think as times change, this is my 16th year as principal at Pitman High School. And if times have changed, so have the approach that we've taken with the students. 16 years ago, phones weren't an issue and social media wasn't an issue. So they didn't have that connection. But now with those types of things in their life, we have to go a step further and a step deeper, because there are so many things that students deal with that they didn't deal with 16 years ago. We're doing them a disservice if we don't take the time to get to know the real person behind the phone, behind the headphones, behind whatever it is they hide behind sometimes. They deserve that from us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Final question. Is there anything you'd like to say to the students or families out there?
Yeah, you know what, every single day. And I think that I get a little emotional, and my husband has actually seen it with some emails that have come through. I get a little emotional that I can't control this. I wish with every fiber of my being that I had some control over where Pitman goes from here. But I don't. And when you sit in my position, you always hope you make the right decisions for students first, and then families, staff, even right there. But at this point in time, where we are in the world, just know that I am making the best decisions I can with Mrs. Deacon as an administrative team member to make sure that we can give the Pitman High School students everything that they have worked so hard for, whether they're a freshman, but most importantly, the class of 2020. The class of 2020 is amazing, and they have worked so hard to get where they are. To have 1 month left of school, know that everything that I do every single day has them in mind. They are part of my thought process, my daily routine, and everything else that has to do with Pitman High School every moment of every day. So that's the best I can say at this point. I will continue to fight for them and giving them what they need. And I hope that they understand that no matter what happens in all this, Pitman High School thinks that they are an incredible class, and that moving forward, they will never be forgotten.
They are an incredible class. I've said that even before we left, that there's so many kids in this class that all of us just love. And a lot of special kids, and our hearts go out to them. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. Lombardo, I really appreciate you doing this. It means a lot to me personally that you would check in with us. And I hope you and your husband stay safe. And
Thank you.
we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you, Mr. P. I'll see you soon.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Bye.